All right. So let's start off lying on our backs with knees bent, feet on the floor. And if you have, Doug, you mentioned, the balls. If you have, those therapy balls and you want to place them on your shoulders or anywhere that feels right, I'm not going to guide it because not everybody has them. But during this warm up or just our centering, this would be a good time to incorporate them into your practice. So we're on our backs, knees are bent, and let your hands just rest on your belly. Have the middle fingers touching, and as you breathe in, invite that breath to fill up the belly so much that the fingers draw away from each other. And then as you exhale, the navel draws back towards the spine and the fingers connect back. And take a few rounds of breath here. So this can be helpful just to notice the pace of your breath and make sure that you're not reverse breathing. So when you breathe in, you want that to fill up and create expansion in the body. And when you breathe out, you want to relax the back of the body, relax the muscles. And we were talking before the recording started about a gardening practice. And just doing something like this, maybe an hour or so after you've been doing some gardening work, just allowing the back of the body to soften and release the holding patterns of shortening the front of the body and overstretching the back of the body. So you can practice here, relaxing the back of the body, allowing the floor to support the back of the body and coax the muscles into a relaxed position. And just let your head gently flow left and right, noticing the neck and inviting length. And next time the head comes to the center, just pause here. Now allow the arms to come out to the sides, palms face up, and shimmy the shoulders away from the ears. And just take a moment to sort of let the arms in a very small snow angel motion find the place that feels like the right amount of stretch for you. So coming into a full T might not be appropriate at this point in the morning. Maybe you need to allow the muscles a little bit more ease to soften before you add that deeper stretch. If you find that having your arms in the T position, you're not feeling much stretch at all, you could bend the elbows, coming into sort of a goalpost position. So you're letting the sensations guide you to the degree of opening and stretch you'd like. Now let's let the feet heel toe all the way to the edges of the mat and the knees follow. And then you begin to windshield wiper them side to side. Now, as you do this action, have the attention and the focus on the back of the body. So you want to feel the back of the hips, the glutes, getting a little massage. So when we focus on the back, we focus on grounding these muscles. It creates space for the front of the hips to find opening. And you can let your head go in the opposite direction of this movement. And just notice if the range of motion just slowly becomes a little bit larger as your body warms up. And I invite you to set the intention this morning to just really not rush your body. If your body's having needs a little bit more time to move into a greater range of motion, I invite you to just honor that. And now next time the knees are up towards the center, heel toe your feet so they're hips distance, and then grab the right leg in towards you, clasping behind the thigh, and stretch that right leg, flex the foot, and then bend. As you do this, check in with the neck. A lot of times when we grab the leg, the back of the neck gets short. Next time the leg is straight, pause here and gently press the back of the leg into the hands and have the hands press into the leg. And then just watch the breath. Let it fill up the belly as you breathe in, and let it relax the back of the body as you breathe out. And then cross that right ankle over the left knee and let your right hand come onto that thigh, and balancing effort and ease. So you gently press the hand into the leg and the leg gently resists. Notice the right shoulder, and if there's tension there, soften it. And notice the back of the hips. Even notice the position of the lower back. You want to make sure it's not flattening too much, it's not arching, and that the weight is even between the left and the right back of the hip. And then once again, check in with the breath. And we just want to invite space in the front of that right hip. And then draw that right leg in again, hugging it. Extend the left leg long. And just let that left leg roll in the hip socket. So this is that action that we've done from table. We did it from this position last week. And this can be really a nice way to just release any stickiness in that hip area. Pause with the foot facing straight up towards the ceiling. And Uddiyana Bandha, hip points narrow, lower belly zips up. I'm going to offer a lot of bus stops. You can feel free to stay right here. This is going to be a very soothing pose for the lower back. You'd like to lift the left leg, maybe just 2 or 3 inches off the mat. You want to feel that left glute engage. So you're pressing through the left heel. And then you press the right leg away from you so that it lifts the head, shoulders, and upper back off the mat. Then you hug the right leg in and take the hands behind the head. Now the challenge, relax the head into the hands. Relax the lower back, relax the neck. Twist towards the right and gently pulse the knee and the chest towards each other. Remember to exhale. Nice, and then come back to the center, release down, hug the right leg in, and some gentle rocking side to side to, again, massage out the back of that right hip. And a gentle twist as you let that right leg come across the body, the knees bend. That right arm can extend out. Left hand on that right thigh, just press that thigh away. Again, creating space in between the lower rib and the hip. Come back to the center. Draw the left leg in to meet the right. And let's make some circles with the knees together. Observing the arch and then the flattening of the spine. Relax the neck and the jaw. And then take it in the other direction. And you can sort of experiment with the different pace of the circles, whether they're smaller or larger. You can even pause if having the knees away from you and that arch feels good. Feel free to just pause and linger. And lower the right leg down when you're ready and hug behind the left thigh and begin straightening the leg and then bending. Again, the neck is relaxed and that has a ripple effect to the lower back. Shoulders are relaxed. And just watch the back of the leg open as you repeat this action. And then next time the leg is straight, pause here, pressing the leg into the hands and the hands into the leg. And cross that left ankle over the right knee. Your left hand is on the thigh and you gently press. Press and resist. You might notice a little dance here where maybe the hand is pressing too much and you have to ease up off of it. And check in with the lower back again. Feel the back of the left and right hip equally grounded. And encourage space in that left hip area. And release that, hug the left leg in and extend the right leg long. Uddiyana Bandha, where there's that imaginary drawstring and then the imaginary zipper. And you float the right leg up. And you press the left thigh away and your head, shoulders, upper back come off the mat. Then you hug the left leg in. And take the hands behind the head. Relax the neck, the head, elbows are broad. Twist to the left. You gently pulse. You might notice that it's a little harder to relax the neck when you're pulsing. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things to keep balanced. You come back to the center. You release down and you hug that left leg in, a gentle rocking. And then the thigh comes across the body. That right hand on the right thigh, you just press it away gently, inviting space in that left hip now. The left arm can extend out. As you exhale, allow that arm bone to just relax in the shoulder sockets. With every inhale, receive the space and the opening along the joints. And then come back to the center. Draw the right knee in, and then this time circling the knees in opposite directions. And again, feel free to pause at any point in these circles. Experiment with different rhythms, different paces of the movement. Reverse direction. Next time the knees come together, pause here, extend the legs up to the ceiling, extend the arms, and let's circle wrists and ankles. Again, we talked about sort of a spring stretchy practice and getting the wrists and ankles. These are the furthest away from the heart, so a little bit of movement here to get that circulation going. Reverse the direction. And pause here. If you're looking for something a little more energizing, you could do the little jiggle here. Your energy's low. This might feel like, nah, I don't feel like doing it. So, like everything, entirely optional. This can help to just get the circulation going. And then just pause and notice the tingling, maybe the heat. And then hands come behind the thighs. And we're going to come to table. You can rock up if that feels appropriate. And come to hands and knees and take a moment and just notice what parts of your body need to be warmed up. And maybe you do a traditional cat and cow or something a little bit more freestyling. Again, feel free to linger if you find an area that benefits from a little bit more time. Free to change directions if you're making circles. And remember, the neck is part of the spine, so let the neck be fluid and free. And when you're ready, pressing back to a child's pose. If this is tough on the knees, rolling up a blanket or some sort of support between the thighs and the calves, and walk the hands over to the left. Enjoy a nice cross-body stretch here. And then think about hugging the right hand in and pressing the left hand out. A little hugging in and stretching out. Walk your hands through center and then over to the right. And again, hug in, press out. Just gonna explore. Notice how that feels in your body this morning. Come back to center and into your table. Let's start with the right leg extending out. Just press through the heel, a little bit of a pulsation. Check in with your Uddiyana Bandha. Hip points narrow, lower belly zips up. And as you begin to lift the limbs off the body, off the ground, you're going to need more Uddiyana Bandha. You're welcome to lift the right leg off the mat. Level it off so the hips are level. Foot is flexed. Just as we did lying down, you rotate out and back to center. And again, this isn't about going to your full range of motion. It's about releasing any stickiness in the area. And pause with the toes facing straight down. Option to extend the left arm forward. Now notice you need more core. You might need to press into that right arm a little bit. Option to take the left hand to the left hip or even rest it on the lower back. That way you can check the balance of the hips. Look to your right. And then back to center. And then look to your left, just challenging your balance here as you look side to side. Back to the center. Bend the knee and then press up gently. But try not to arch the lower back. So you want to keep the core engaged here. So the movement's going to be pretty small. If the movement goes very large, tendency is to fall into that arched back. And then pause here, lower the left hand to the ground, straighten the right leg. Now, option to take this right leg over to the left. We've done this before. The other option, we did this last week. If the knees feel okay, tuck that right knee behind the left. So you have eagle legs, and then you press back towards child's pose. Chances are your hips aren't going to touch your heels, but this will just give you a little bit more of a hip stretch. And come back to your table. Toes turn under and either press back to a downward dog or a child's pose. And again, invite sort of intuitive movement, just noticing how your body feels. Yeah, maybe you paddle out the legs, or if you're in child's pose, maybe just allowing the hips to gently shift from side to side. Yeah. And if you're feeling a lot of weight on your shoulders, shorten your dog so you can press the hips back. Yes, nice, Dee Dee, really nice. All right, and then we'll come back to our table. We'll do the other side by extending the left leg back. Uddiyana Bandha. You float the left leg up and you just rotate it in the hip socket. Yeah, just as we did on the other side. Nice. Very nice. And then pause with the toes facing straight down. And then the option to extend the opposite arm. Now just notice when you lift this arm up, you've got to put that weight somewhere. So a little more in the left arm, a little more in the right knee, and a little more core. And then that right hand can come on the hip or rest on the lower back. And then you look to the left. You look to the center. And just notice as you look to the right, notice how that changes the weight where it goes in your body. And you need to negotiate that balance. You come back to the center. You bend the knee and you gently begin to pulse up. But you keep drawing the lower ribs towards the hip so that you don't fall into excessive arching in the lower back. And then you pause. You straighten that leg and you lower the right hand down and you either take that left leg over to the right, looking over the right shoulder, or you tuck it behind the right knee and then you press back. And make your way to your table when you're ready. And let's come into a Sphinx pose. So this is one of my favorite sort of post-gardening or in the middle of gardening poses. Just a really nice treat for the lower back. And so let's bring the awareness to the front of the hips and the belly. And as you breathe in, invite the breath to travel down to the belly, travel down to the front of the hips, and create space. And then as you exhale, imagine the lower back softening and just melting into a natural arch. So just releasing any sense of rounding that might have settled in from doing a lot of forward bending activity. Now you're welcome to stay here. Now, if this bothers you, because for some people, this can contribute to pinching in the lower back. So this is another variation of this back bend. It's a bit gentler. Now on the other extreme, you can come into a forearm plank. You could do that with just lifting the belly off the ground. So you're still pressing into the hips, or you could lift the belly and maybe the thighs, and maybe you just come into the full expression. Now, wherever you are, hip points narrow and lower belly zips up. Chest is radiating towards the wall in front of you. Heels are radiating towards the wall behind you. And just enjoy a couple more breaths here. And then release all the way down. Let your arms come to your sides. Your forehead comes to the mat. Legs draw towards each other. So it's like one big long tail. Lift the right leg up and lengthen it away from you, and then lower it down. Just notice the two legs. Notice how that intentional lengthening shows up in your body. And then the left one lifts and you lengthen. You can continue alternating legs or lift both legs up at the same time. But invite length in the lower back. Draw the belly button back to your spine. Maybe you lift the head, the shoulders, and the arms. Now, neck and lower back are connected. So have the neck relaxed. Your gaze stays towards the floor so that it signals the lower back to stay at ease as well. And just 3 more breaths. When you've completed, make a pillow for your forehead, release down, and windshield wiper the legs. Now allow this windshield wiping activity to massage the front of the thighs. Release the legs down. Hands under the shoulders. Press up through table, either downward dog or child. And again, any sort of intuitive movements that feel good in your body. And we'll meet up at the back of the mat. You come into a nice deep knee forward fold. Your thighs make a shelf for the forearms. Your head relaxes, jaw relaxes. And Uddiyana Bandha, hip points narrow, lower belly zips up. Take a look at your heels and imagine you're stretching the mat between them. Feel the back of the hips broaden. And then hands come onto the hips. And again, using your core, rise on up to standing. And take a gentle back bend. Again, allow the front of the body to get spacious. Feel the shoulders melt down the back of your body. Feel your tailbone melt towards the floor. And then inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine, Uddiyana Bandha. Imagine stretching your heels apart. And then inhale, chair pose. Arms can reach forward if that feels okay. Again, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Flip the left palm up, grab the wrist and stretch to the right. Take your gaze down towards the floor. Press into the pinky side of that left foot. And then inhale up through center. Switch sides. And come back to center. Release the arms. Roll out the shoulders. And inhale, rise, gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine, a gentle arch, but not too much. Option to extend the arms forward. Now just notice if this is showing up somewhere you don't want it to be. And then inhale, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Let your hands come on your hips, shift the weight to the left foot, come onto the ball of the right. And then arms reach up overhead. Inhale, rise up for stork pose. Exhale, sit down. We'll go side to side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, step down. Just repeat this with your breath. Now, as you do this, can you cultivate the actions that we did lying down? So you're hugging that knee in, you're using your core, you're pressing through the heel that touches the ground to activate, these look great, to activate the glutes and the whole back chain. Now finish off an equal amount of time on both sides and we'll meet up in our chair. So don't rush, make sure both sides get equal attention. And then inhale, you rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, release the arms down. And then looking straight forward, just mindfully make your way to the front of your space. Nice. And you can set your blocks up here if you like to have those for warrior flowing sequences. If you had a mat or anything, you can remove that so it doesn't get in the way. And inhale, reach up, stretch, gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Inhale, press into the legs. Hands can come to the blocks as you step the right leg back for warrior two. So that transition, however that works for you, you don't have to lower down if that's uncomfortable. We're in our warrior two legs. Knee towards the short end, hips towards the wide end. Roll that right shoulder back. And then inhale, the arms reach and open up. And just take a look at that right arm. Sometimes we forget about the back side of the body. Just make sure the shoulders are over the hips. And then let your gaze come to the front arm. Float both palms up. And then inhale, straighten and reach. Press the palms down as you bend the knee. And just flow in and out of this. Nice. Next time the knee's bent, pause here. Flip the front palm and then reverse. All right, so I'm gonna offer suggestions for getting to the front of the mat. Ultimately, we're gonna meet up in a forward fold, so you know where we're going. On your inhale, come through warrior two. Windmill the hands to the floor or blocks and the back leg lifts. And then take that right leg to the left of the left leg. So legs are crossed. This is like what Barbara was talking about, her running stretch, crossing the legs. And then you can walk the blocks and the hands over to the right and melt. And just notice any sensation behind the knee that might not feel good. That might be an indication, especially the back leg. Sometimes it can get hyperextended. So you might need to soften that a little bit and relax the jaw. And uncross the legs, come back to the center. Uddiyana Bandha, core is engaged, and then inhale, you rise up. Gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, step back to warrior two. And again, transition how it feels right for you this morning. Knee to the short end, hips to the long end. Draw that left shoulder back. Inhale the arms up and out. Take a look over that left hand to make sure the shoulders are over the hips. And then look out over the right. Flip the palms up. And then you straighten and bend. You just flow with your breath. And next time you're in warrior two, pause here. Flip the front palm and reverse. All right, getting ready for that transition. Inhale through warrior two. Keep going. Hands come to the floor or blocks or table or chair. Back leg lifts, level off the hips. Then lower that left leg. Crossing the legs. And then walk the hands over to your left. Relax the head, the neck, maybe the eyes. And then scan the back of the knees, noticing if you need to soften anywhere. It can also be kind of interesting to notice if the weight is more in the balls of the feet or the heels and how the stretch changes. And then uncross the legs. Inhale, you rise, gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Inhale, press into the legs. Exhale, warrior two again. Open right up into the full pose. Nice. So we'll do a little dancing warrior sequence. The left hand or forearm comes on the thigh and the right arm is overhead. So feel that chain, that stretch on the right side of the body. You anchor into the pinky side of the right foot. And then inhale through warrior two and reverse. We'll do that 2 more times. Try to keep the lower body steady so the upper body can flow unencumbered. So can you keep the hips and the legs just perfectly still? And then we'll pause in our warrior two. Hands come to the hips and you dial the back foot in a turn. Left hand either above or below the knee. And you gently press that leg straight. Roll the hip, the ribs, the shoulder open. If it feels okay, that right arm extends. Now, can you soften the shoulders on the back of the body? Can you feel Uddiyana Bandha here? And then notice where your gaze feels comfortable. The floor, horizon, or at the ceiling. Notice the breath. Nice, rebend that front knee and Come on up to a short warrior two. And then reverse it. Try to keep that knee bent. Inhale through warrior two. Keep going. Windmill the hands to the floor or blocks. Back leg lifts. And then you lower it down to meet the front leg. And then inhale, you rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, press into the legs. Nice long spine. Exhale, step back, warrior two, full pose. Take the time to settle into the alignment that's right. And then we flow. So come into your side angle. Pause the first time around to just really invite that length on the left side of the body, feeling that pinky side of the foot grounded. And then inhale, you flow through warrior two. You reverse, and you just do this at a pace that feels right for you. See if you can follow the pace of the breath. When you are in the neighborhood of warrior two, we'll meet up here. Nice. Hands come to the hips and dial that back foot in. Take your right hand either above or below the knee. And press that right leg straight but not locked. Roll the hip, the ribs, the shoulders. And then that arm extends up. Now, once again, try to relax the shoulders. Can you find a gentle back bend in the upper back? Can you keep the core stable and supporting you? And then rebend the front knee. Come into a short warrior two and reverse. Inhale through warrior two. You keep going until you get to the front of the mat. And then inhale, you rise. Exhale, release the arms down. All right. I want to just check in. Are you guys up for another sequence, or would you like to go to the ground and spend a little more time there? Give me a thumbs up if it's a sequence, a thumbs down if it's floor. I see up. Okay, up it is. So we'll do a warrior one sequence with option of warrior three. So you're at the front of your space. Inhale, reach up and stretch. And exhale, fold halfway. Press into your legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, right leg steps back for warrior one. Start with the hands on the hips. Angle the hips towards the front wall. And then reach the arms up. And then straighten the knee and lower the arms. Just flow with your breath here. Yeah, so the body's following the breath. So the pace of your body is the pace of your breath. Nice, really nice. Yeah. Next time you're in your warrior one, pause here. Your hands come behind the head. See if you can relax the head into the hands. Invite the tailbone to be long. And then reach the arms up. Feel that deeper opening along the spine. Relax the shoulders. And then release the hands to the hips. Shift the weight to the front leg. Now you could use a chair or a wall as you float the back leg up, drop the hips. So really important to have the Uddiyana Bandha, pressing into that left heel, relax the neck. And then release to the front of the mat when you're ready. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs so the spine gets some length. And then step the left leg back for warrior one. Directing the hips towards the wall. When you're ready, arms rise up. And you begin to flow. Nice. Keep the weight in that back leg. Let that back leg be the anchor, the sense of stability. So in most yoga poses, there's an anchor point. And that anchor point allows other parts of the body the freedom to flow and move and open. So here we want that back leg to be very stable and strong. Next time you're in your warrior one, pause. Hands come behind the head. Relax the head and neck. And let the chest open. Let the shoulders melt down the back. This is going to challenge your balance. So have maybe a little bit more weight on the right big toe mound. And then the arms can reach up. Imagine a large beach ball. You're just melting your spine over. Feel the shoulders drape down towards the hips. And then release the hands to the hips. Shifting your weight to that front foot, you can float the back leg up. Drop that left hip so you have your Uddiyana Bandha. You're rooting through that right heel, so you turn that chain of muscles. Very nice. And you're breathing, and you welcome the wobbles. Nice. And then release to the front. Inhale, reach up. Gentle back bend. And then exhale, fold. So you start with the hands on the thighs, and then let the hands press into the legs down to a degree that feels right for you in your forward fold. And let this be a little passive. You can allow the arms to dangle if the lower back feels okay with this. You can let the head dangle and maybe imagine some seaweed just sort of gently flowing in the ocean. And this is your body. Feel the spine becoming uncompressed and spacious. Feel gravity creating space in the neck. And when you're ready, we're going to meet up on the mat. And you can gather whatever you would like for Shavasana so that it's handy. We'll do some gentle stretching before that, but the majority of the physical exertion of the practice is behind us. And now we work towards directing our body towards Shavasana. So allow the back of the body to melt into the mat. And when you're ready, you can grab your strap and place it on the right foot. Extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. And feel the back of the right hip rooted to the floor. And then press the ball of the right foot into the thigh. So again, feel the anchor and lengthen away from it. And now you can take the tie in the right hand and come into a half happy baby. Have your left hand on the left hip. Maybe you straighten the left leg if that feels right. And relax that, that right hip bone, the head of the femur. Just allow it to relax in the hip socket. So sometimes our joints can get misaligned just from repetitive movement. So with your breath and your maybe visualization, just invite your hips to find a comfortable realignment. And then on your inhale, that right leg extends back up towards the ceiling. Enjoy a brief hamstring stretch. And if you've got your block, you may want to have that on the left side so that as you take the right leg across, it rests on the block. You can use your right hand once again to just encourage space in the hip. Maybe you gently press the thigh away and then extend the right arm out to the right. And with each exhale, you allow that arm bone to melt into the socket of the shoulder. Next breath in, bring that right leg back up to center. You can remove the tie, just set it to the side, hug the knee in, a gentle rocking side to side. Extend the right leg long, arms extend overhead, nice full body stretch. And let's hug the left leg in, and you may want to start with the right knee bent and the foot on the floor, and you take the tie on the ball of the left leg. Root the back of the left hip and extend through the left heel. Tie in the left hand, half happy baby. Right hand on the right hip. You can extend the right leg long if you like. And once again, it can be interesting to just notice the back of the hips and the distribution of weight and little subtle micro movements that you can incorporate to bring a little more ease into the body. When you're ready, that leg comes back to center, the block to the right, tie in the right hand, and release into your twist, maybe gently pressing that left thigh away. And enjoy another breath, and then make your way back to center. Hug the knee in. And when you're ready, extend the leg long and do a little check-in. Notice if you're ready for maybe a little bit longer Shavasana, or perhaps you'd like to slide a block under the hips and do a brief inversion. Just take a moment, check in, and notice which one would feel better in your body. And wherever you are, just notice the body part that's in contact with either the floor or the block. And feel that sense of grounding. And then notice the body parts that are not touching. And allow the breath to create a sense of lightness, whether it's the legs extended or you're lying in Shavasana and you feel the front of the body. And then can you notice a sense of grounding and a sense of spaciousness simultaneously? And perhaps you notice your mind shifting from grounding to spaciousness. And then invite a sense of receiving, releasing any sense of doing. And invite your body, your mind, your spirit to receive the benefits of your practice. If you notice a sense of needing to do something, just remind yourself that there'll be plenty of time to do that after your practice, that now is a time that you've carved out for you. We just have a few more moments of this precious time. So allow your body, your mind, your spirit to bathe in this healing practice of receiving. Allow your next breath to be a little longer, a little deeper. And invite gentle movements, maybe wiggling your fingers or toes. Maybe allowing your head to gently flow from side to side. Just notice what next movements might help facilitate transitioning to your side. Enjoying a pause here. And again, taking a moment to acknowledge your commitment to self-care and honoring your body, your mind, and your spirit. When you're ready, you can make your way up to seated. Noticing how you feel. Noticing if there's anything in particular you'd like to carry through your day. And we can close our practice with a sound of Om. Taking a deep breath in. Namaste. Stop the recording.